How many people here know much about ballroom? Oh. We'll just go fuck ourselves in, all right?
Okay.
Right, okay. We'll ease ourselves in and introduce these guys to what it is all about, yeah?
We'll slowly introduce you to it, yeah.
Cool.
Hey, so with Welsh Ballroom Community, it started back in 2020 by Leighton Rees Milan. Gotta give him credit for credit due. And also as well, when it comes to ballroom, especially for us, it's just liberated and it's given us that beautiful creative space where all of our creativity has absolutely come to life, and being able just to bring the imagination on a whole new different level is absolutely been extraordinary. But the beauty of it all is being able to make a chosen family with my siblings.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, get your tissues out. No, but that's the beauty of it. I think with all of us, we conclude with having a chosen family. Ballroom allows queer people of color, such as ourselves, to survive. I found ballroom at a time when I was 28 years old, a gay man who was even accepting of my own sexuality, never mind the queerness that I had in me. I look like a boy, but honey, she's an auntie inside. So,
Work, bitch.
do you know what I mean? So in that perspective, I was in a time where I was really struggling with my identity. I was suppressed. I was getting shunned away from my gay community. And Leighton Rees Milan, who created the safe space of Welsh Ballroom Community. He's the trailblazer. Unfortunately, he's not here with us today. But he created that safe place, and we connected with each other. Like the first day, I was a shy-ass gay guy, you know me. When you see me later, you're going to be like, this bitch, this big-ass bitch, shy. So it really allowed us to kind of liberate ourselves within our authenticity. Like me meeting Alia the first day. Since then, the journey that I've been on 4 years down the line, cunt. This one... Sorry, yeah, by the way, ballroom has lingo. I have to give trigger warning. There is certain lingo that is so used to us. So if we say certain things like, see you next Tuesday, that means work.
And what does work mean to these?
Oh, yeah, work means you're doing good, honey. You know the sparkly dressed lady over here? Work. You're wearing it. So that's how we found ballroom. It was a form of survival.
Yeah, and like that through line through you guys is like finding community and like connecting with each other, and obviously I can see how close you guys are, and also finding yourselves through that, and like I can relate to it as well because like as a House of Chan mother, there's like the Liverpool scene in drag is like it's white as shit. It is a mayonnaise sandwich, bitch.
Oh yeah.
And like for ages there was only like 3, maybe 2 Asian drag queens. I don't know. One was white with like small eyes. I couldn't tell. And then through that I was like, okay, something's got to change. And I just grabbed all these other queer Asians. They might have been performers, they might have not been performers, but we turned them to performers. Yep. And through that, you just create these beautiful friendships and also create these beautiful spaces for the stage, as well as you guys who are in the audience. Yep. And yeah, exactly. And tonight, you're all part of our house. Our houses, our street.
I mean, sorry, Bulgari Pradas were exclusive. The applications, you might need to wait a while.
It's a one-day adoption, that's it. After the night, you're an orphan again.
No, but seriously, like, no, thank you, because I hope you know that when we as queer Asians and POCs and us as queer finery come together, it is a form of resilience and survival that our art, our creativeness projects. So I hope that if people are uneducated about the queer community, the gay community, the drag community, like, no shade, mother, round of applause for you.
Thank you. I can't hear you. Keep on going.
Period.
Bitch.
But no, honestly, it's people like yourself myself are surviving, and the queer rate of queer people of color, like, no shade, a lot of people don't see their lives after 25 or 30. So the fact that we have role models like you, baby,
and yourself,
and her, and myself, and other queer fab beings around UK, that's why a lot of queer people are surviving, honey.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously you guys have been going through this since 2020 for 5 years.
Yep.
And how did you all start in like your own practices as performers?
Oh.
You know, or were you not performers and you just like fell into it?
Do you know, for me, I come from a background of banking and finance. I was the typical Asian with the glasses. IT, thank you for calling. Very that. 28, I changed my jobs, everything, going into freelance. And it was mainly basically the things that I was told not to do and like pushed away and shunned through society, thinking that fashion is not for me as a bigger boy, especially Asian, me gender bending and whatnot. It wasn't for me. Me finding ballroom and finding this one here. I'm sorry, she's younger than me, but as she is as a trans woman, what I've seen from the 4 or 5 years that I've learned from her, the way she does her mug, she collects herself, gathers herself, walks out this door for all these cis people to look at her, the way she does and held her head high, that is something that allowed me to come into my creativity. So it was like a liberation, and I refound a new love for my culture, Pakistani heritage, like the fashion of it, the color.
Yes.
Like girls, like I know I look good in black, but watch until I look
Everything
good in
else.
color. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like a whole new rebirth for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I found it. Just like a creative word. How about you?
Oh, so for me, I was going through massive life changes where, so by day, I work as an engineer, not just an engineer, but a black female engineer, beauty and brains, darling. But yeah, so I started my new engineering job, but I was also at that stage where I was just ready for something brand new and just something where I could find my tribe and rediscover myself. You know, when you're just in your you're in your early phase and you just want to understand, what do you want to do next? And then ballroom changed everything. So as I got to learn ballroom through Leighton Rees Milan, as we mentioned earlier, WBC started back in 2020 during COVID, which, let's be honest, it was a fucking shithole. But we got through it, so I'm glad that we have. We're very vocal.
There'll be worse throughout the night, don't you worry.
Indeed.
And that's just from me.
But yeah, so after learning more about the history of ballroom, the culture, and the categories, I was really just fascinated to know which one truly resonated with me. So to start off, I originally used to work the categories runway and sex siren. So runway was all about you bringing your modeling fantasies to life. So you're strutting like a model and showing the clothes from A to B to Z, but you never ever drop the garment. Otherwise, it is an automatic chop. Which means that the person who's walking and the judges are not seeing it for them. Yeah, you may want to go back to the drawing board, darling. But yes, and then also sex siren, and then I also used to walk sex siren at one point where that was also a liberating time, but I still felt I was still trying to understand more about how I saw myself and feeling sexual, and I've got to be honest, and that's been a journey within itself. But then the category that then changed everything for me was walking body. And body is all about selling the body confidence and celebrating your luscious curves in all angles and all areas. And for me, walking body has just been one of the best categories for me because it allowed me to really celebrate my black beauty for what it truly is. And unfortunately, black beauty has been tarnished or made fun of for way too fucking damn long. And for me, walking body just took the power back for myself and just say, so I am proud to be black. I'm proud to be beautiful. I stand by it. And this is for all my black sisters and black non-binary siblings everywhere who deserve to be celebrated for who they are. I'm proud to keep going for that.
Oh, word, bitch. And how about yourself? How'd you fall into performing in ballroom?
You know, I guess I had, coming from like a Muslim household, I got disowned after coming out for trans, for being trans, and I ended up being in care, and then I was in an all-girls hostel, and I was homeless for about 2 years. And then I got my first flat, and I was living by myself at the age of 19. And I was hanging around with a bunch of cis people, trying to blend in. And I just felt like something was missing. And watching RuPaul's Drag Race, he always says, Paris is burning, let's open up the library. And I was like, what is Paris is burning? So I went to go watch it, and I saw all the fabulousness, all of the drama, the femme queens, the butch queens, the fashion, the faith girl, it was all there. And the attitude that these girls had, especially back then, because mind you, back then, walking whilst trans was a bill. You would get thrown into prison just for being outside and being trans.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were so fearlessness at that time, when they were having the most discrimination, gave me like the kick up the arse. Like, why am I hiding it now when we're being celebrated? Well, back in 2019, we were being celebrated a bit more. Now we're being brutalized and hung up to being killed, honey. Anyway, I thought that the only scene at the time was in London. So I was like, okay, I have to go to London to go and see my first ball. But then I came across an article about the Welsh Ballroom Community on Wales Online. And I was like, okay. So I messaged the page and, Leighton told me where to meet them. And I did. And I remember seeing Leighton Rees Milan voguing very femininely in the park. And I was very shocked because I never saw a man being feminine in public spaces how he was, especially voguing. And there's like mandem everywhere and chavs and they're looking him sideways and he's like, God. Like he couldn't care less because he was in his own fantasy and seeing that queer like fearlessness in someone else made me like, okay, baby, why am I hiding? Why am I hiding in the closet as a woman, as a trans woman, as a brown person? Like, the closet needs to be left behind, and I need to come out looking fabulous, honey. Yes.
And you do, bitch. And you do,
so
bitch.
do you, darling. Yes.
And it's funny you say Paris is Burning because I watched that as a teenager as well. And after that, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, I'm a bit scared. I was like, what the hell's going on? But I want to be involved. And then obviously, like, years later, probably like 8 years later, 10 years later, I don't know. I became a mother. So yeah, I totally relate to you. And you guys all touched on categories. And who here knows much about categories in ballroom? What? Two people at work.
Right. So
there's a lot
let's
to unpick.
give a quick one-on-one. Ballroom originated in Harlem in New York for Black and Latino trans women. They created a space where individuals like themselves could go and celebrate their fabulousness and express their creativity. And this was from the 70s, 80s. Now, fast forward, we're such a mainstream where if you've ever seen, is it Timothy Chalamet or whatever his name is?
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. He's got a doppelganger, and we've got one of them in ballroom, and his name is Chachu Miyaki Mugler. And if you've ever seen a video of Timothy and people are gagging that he's voguing, and they're out there like...
This little white twink.
Yeah, little white twink. So that kind of put main ballroom on such a mainstream vibe. Obviously, you have Beyonce, Madonna, everyone sharing the culture. But it's a space where it's so mainstream now that is a competitive vibe. You have your houses where, like, a lot of people are homeless, like the young ones, they're homeless. But you have mothers that will basically create these houses to house them, to basically upskill them, give them life skills. Because you'd be surprised, someone like myself, and I hope you don't mind me saying, Alia, when we were disowned, I disowned, but when we were disowned when we were younger, you don't have those skill sets for life, like finances, housing benefit, all this kind of stuff. I didn't know what that was. So having all these parents, it allows you that in and outside the ballroom. So having those parents and these houses, such as we represent House of Bulgari Prada, it's a representation of a title that you carry a legacy. And Pradas are someone who are probably one of the original houses from back then that we carry a legacy. So for us, like, categories. So categories, you have performance, beauty, and fashion is broken into 3. And in those 3, there's so many categories. There's like more than 75. For me, as someone who's 6'2", non-binary, and a big ass bitch with these titties, I walk big boy European runway, and that's basically high fashion catwalk. But it's more of a male trying to feminize a walk. So when you see later, and hope that y'all stay, I'll show you how I pump and how my grand prize runway is going to be on this floor.
I can't wait.
Period. And my second category is hands performance, which we'll showcase. So you have fashion and performance for me.
So, So, as stated earlier, I walk Luscious Body, which is all about celebrating the curves from head to toe. So, it's all about selling the boobs, the thighs, the long legs, the glowing skin, and the bootylicious arms. And what can I say? It's all in the jeans. But what's really amazing about body is that you also have different body types that you can walk in. So you have model body, where you've got like where you're looking like where you show off your beautiful long gams. You also have
Gowns.
it's all in the
I love it.
gams.
I love it.
What, show us those gams. You also have fitness bodies. So for all those who are very into the gym, you can re-emphasize the strong muscles and research to judges, which I'm sure they'll absolutely appreciate. Luscious Body, Exhibit A. And this Luscious Body has won grand prizes as well, which I'm very proud of. Woo! And you've got Big and Beautiful, which is for those who are a bit more on the bigger side. However, regardless, everybody is beautiful in their own form and way. And we've even got Lizzo to thank you for bringing Big and Beautiful into ballroom as well.
Work. And how about yourself?
Everyone get your pen and paper out, because this list, wow.
Oh, honey. I walk a lot. I like to walk.
Good girl who does it all.
I like to walk. What can I say? Obviously, I walk realness, which is walking as a passing cis woman, and I am a cis woman. What are you talking about? I also walk Vogue Femme, which is the craze. You see, boom, 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 they go crazy. 5 Elements, which is hands performance, floor performance, catwalk, duck walks, and spins and dips. That's 5 elements of Vogue. And then we also have I love to do hands performance, which is just hands performance. I also do sex siren, which is, selling your sex for trans women, especially at the time. They were sex workers a lot. So what they would do is they would, do their shift as a sex worker and then go to the ball and sell sex. And that's kind of how sex siren came about, but there's more history behind that. I also walk face, which is, baby, look at the face. You're all mesmerized, no? Yeah, and that's just a couple. I also do chanting, which is commentating the ball. Yeah. What else? That's more.
You're like the Swiss Army knife of ballroom. And that's the first time I've ever made a joke about Usul. I don't know. I'm jealous. Work. That's incredible. And for you guys, as like a community and individuals, you've been doing this for 5 years. What are some standout moments that you've done? What are some standout moments that you've had and done?
Standard moments?
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? It's quite hard because, as you can tell, we're all quite passionate and expressive about when we speak. So finding one individual moment, for me, I think it's the family aspect. One moment, like when we go to London or whenever we do an international travel, especially us three and our other members that we have, those moments you have after the ball, when you get food, you sit down and you decompress and you're like, oh girl, we did it. And that moment and you're with the family and it's so beautiful. I love those moments. Because going to a ball, you need to understand you're like, as much as we're coming across, we all have different vibes, right? But on the ball day, bitch, you come in front of me and you're trying to be all nice. Honey, I'm supreme. My runway's there, so that's all I'm looking at. So you're activated, so you're kind of in competitive mode. So as soon as you come out of the ball and everything and you sit with the family and you're like, okay, shit, girl, did you see that shade she was throwing at you? All this kind of stuff. And that's one thing that stands out to me is the family essence that we have, because we get a lot of compliments from Manchester to London, all saying that we remind them of old school ballroom. Amazing. And that's really beautiful because I feel like when we came into it, we did our research, we understood our culture, we did the research of the history, and we came in respectful and with integrity. So I feel like that's my family time, is my moment.
Oh, amazing.
Ooh. I'm going to pass the mic on to Ali because I need to rethink
You need
deeply about this.
A bit more time. I threw that at you, didn't I?
There are so many moments. I mean, we've been together for about 5 years now, and and we've traveled. We've gone to Athens, we've gone to Paris, we've gone to Rotterdam, We've been to London many times, Manchester, and I feel like every trip has its own moment where we're all just like, yeah, that made that trip. You know what I mean? I feel like for me, it was this moment in Rotterdam when, I'm gonna say it. When we were in Rotterdam, it made me realize what ballroom meant to me. It was a learning moment, especially as a young person coming into. At the time, I was the youngest individual at the group, and I felt like, still learning my place. So we all went to Athens as our first trip as an international group, and everyone, when you walk a ball, you need people to help you and help you get dressed and cheer you on. So we were all helping each other get dressed and cheer each other on. At the time, me and Muz were very close anyway, and he was stressed for his category, so when he went down to go walk, he had no one behind him, no one helping him, and he walked his category and he came back and, did you get chopped? You got chopped, and unfortunately, but it made us realize how important that backbone is, to be there chanting for your person and getting them ready and telling them how beautiful they look just before they walk on, so that their alter ego is alter egoing, and like just seeing how much it meant to you, and seeing when we did go to the next ball and how I did rally up behind you and I was screaming your name on the floor and how much love you had for me when you came off the floor, and how you just came into me and we were like, yeah, you're my sibling. You know what I mean?
So I'm your moment?
You're always going to be my moment. You're my brother. Come on. I love you, babes.
Oh, I love that.
No, as you can see, we just have so much love with each
course.
other. I think it comes from us, like, being deprived of family and whatnot. And when we find each other, it's we don't hold back.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of queerness is we really don't hold back. Like, we're just so raw and authentic.
There's so much love to
because,
give.
like, no shade. Like, our teens, we didn't live as teens. Our 20s was basically our teens, where we learned our mistakes. 30s, now I'm going to my 30s,
That's the CFP.
Everyone, all the youngins call me grandma. I'm like, baby, I am just in my 20s. Y'all don't understand. My 20s was my teens.
I feel
My 30s is my 20s, what I've learned. You got the coin and everything.
Yeah.
Bitch, you best believe I'm going to eat it up this whole decade. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Well,
I'm
come on.
anti. Yeah.
28, I was depressed. 30, I've come in, I'm living my prime.
What a
as my
bitch.
authentic self. Period.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what Ballroom did for us.
I love it. I love it.
So, thinking about favourite moments, I've really got to be honest, I think favourite moments, I can't really pick ones because it's been with two of my siblings especially, and it's been really gorgeous. And I have to say, the journey we've been on has been motherfucking crazy, but it's been some of the best times of my life especially. And being the balls especially, honestly, it's really, what Ali said about the backbone are so true, because it's not for the faint of heart and anything could occur. So whether like you're trying to like breathe, or you're trying to calm yourself down, or trying to be more present, or even just making sure you're really selling clear on the floor. But when I think back to how Alia and Muz have been there, especially for me in my journey, it means a lot. No, honestly speaking, because no, it's true. Because honestly speaking, when you're on the floor, you realize that you never would have thought you'd be doing something like this, but I couldn't have done it without them. Honestly speaking, that's why they've just built the moments for me every single time. So I can't really choose a favourite one
That's so
because
fair.
they've both made it for me. So thank you to
that's
you
gorgeous.
both.
I'll tell you what it was for me. We were in Paris and she was getting ready to walk body and she was breathing and she was like, and she saw me from across the room standing on a chair and I started shaking my tits and so did she, and then she walked onto a category shaking her tits. I'm like, yes, KL. Yes.
Some of that tonight, please.
No, but I will be honest, that moment really got to me the most because just to share a little bit personal story with you all, walking back in Paris this year was the first time being back on the floor, because last year I had to take a break because of health reasons, and Muz and Alia saw how I was. I was weak. I was throwing up nearly every day. I could barely move, and I was in the hospital twice last year. But Muz and Alia, they really got me through it. So being back on the floor again really meant, especially with these guys, because I just really wanted to do it. But seeing them especially, it really got me through it, and I felt really proud.
Good, I should. I can see how much love there is between all three of you. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous to see. So, what do you guys see for yourselves in future? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
Legendary. I want
Yes,
to be
bitch.
legendary.
Legendary in 20 years? Don't you mean icons, darling?
That's it. That's the energy we need.
I think for me,
Yeah.
I just want peace and prosperity because my trans siblings' lives matter. That's literally what I want. I hope
Right.
to see in
Yeah.
5 years. Us as human beings, we do better. And you protect those trans siblings because we need it.
We do. We do. Really do.
That's what I want to be doing. And other than that, you all will be seeing our faces on billboards and everything. You're
Exactly.
welcome.
It's scary times, but we'll be seeing a lot of yours.
Period. Do you know what I mean? We'll just end up buying the places.
And what can we expect tonight?
Oh, no, that's it. We're going home now. Thank
Bye,
you.
bitch.
Bye. Well, hopefully tonight we're going to give you an introduction to ballroom. Obviously, you can see we're quite passionate. We're all trying to tell you everything of each categories instantly. So hopefully we'll have a little introduction into ballroom. And then I can see some fab people. One right there in the middle. Because I know it's someone's birthday. We're going to get them on the floor. So we'll hopefully open it up to our audiences. And we'll do a little best dress moment.
Oh, stunning.
I'm going to be honest, girl. You sit down because
Yeah, I'm
no
not loud.
shade. Because if you walk, you sitting everyone down.
Just hand it to me now, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Grand prize.
And I made it.
So yeah.
Thanks, babe.
So hopefully there'll be a lot of demonstration and any questions and whatnot. Do not hesitate to ask at the end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. Well, thanks for coming on the stage and telling us about yourself.
Thank you for having us.
And I just want to say, if you don't know much about ballroom, watch Paris is Burning. I'm sure it's like on YouTube or just stream it on some shady website. And that'll give you a good intro to ballroom after this intro to ballroom. Because if you watch Drag Race and they're all like, mama, you got to watch the real stuff. And then you can delve deeper and deeper and start to fall in love with it.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to say, Paris is Burning is a fab documentary, but if you wanted to do some in-depth dive, Google culture actually has like a whole drive now of ballroom culture. It gives a breakdown of each era because we come from eras. We're currently in the purple era, right? We're in the purple era, and then basically it breaks down all the years, the icons, legends, pioneers, and it's very informative because that was the other thing when I was saying ballroom was very underground before. Now it's mainstream. There is resources out there rather than just Paris is Burning to understand because, you know, it's growing very vastly.
It is, it is. And everybody give a huge round of applause to the Welsh Ballroom Community.
Thank you.
Come on, take a little bow, bitch. Take a little bow, bitch.